Hello, everybody. I am at the Inn at Saratoga, and we are broadcasting the school board election results, which are coming in right now. Stand by while I read you what we have. So there are 5 candidates running for the school board: Deb Emery, Matt Kopans, Joe Sabanos, Connie Wyatowicz, and Amanda Ellithorpe. Right now, we have the results from 3 out of the 6 polling locations. We have results from Dorothy Nolan, Geyser Road Elementary, and Lake Avenue Elementary. And as of right now, the total votes stand as Deb Emery has 1199, 1,199 votes. Matt Copian has 1,049. Joe Sabanos has 639. And Connie Wyatowicz has 877. Amanda Ellithorpe has 707. So that would put the top 3 vote getters with 3 districts reporting as Deb, Matt, and Connie Wyatowicz. We're going to keep bringing you numbers as they come in. This is obviously a bit of a fluid situation, but essentially Greenfield will be very telling in terms of the results tonight. They tend to vote a bit more right-leaning, so to speak, and 2 of the candidates tonight are running with sponsorship from the Democratic Party. So if Joe, Connie, or Amanda pick up votes in Greenfield, that could change the leaderboard a little bit. If not, we're likely looking at Deb, Matt, and Connie Wyatowicz victory, but it's a little too early to say. So stand by, my friend, and as I get numbers coming in, I will bring them to you. But just to repeat again, right now, there are 3 districts that are 3 polling places that are reporting: Dorothy Nolan, Geyser Road Elementary, and Lake Avenue Elementary. The total votes as of right now from the 3 polling places that are reporting, the top vote getter at the moment is Deb Emery with 1,199 votes. The second highest vote getter is Matt Copians with 1,049 votes, followed by Connie Wyatowicz with 877, Amanda Ellithorpe with 707, and Joe Sabanos with 639. So we are still waiting for Greenfield Elementary, Division Street, and Caroline Street schools to report their vote totals. And I will keep you apprised as soon as I get them. So stand by for just a moment. Still waiting on 3 districts to come in, or 3 polling places. Sorry, I keep saying districts, guys. I'm used to November elections. But the 3 schools we're waiting on results from are Caroline Street, Division Street, and Greenfield. We have the results already from Dorothy Nolan, Geyser, and Lake Avenue Elementary. As I've said, Deb Emery is the highest vote getter with those 3 polling places reporting with 1,199 votes, followed by Matt Kopans with 1,049 votes, followed by Connie Wyatowicz with 877, Amanda Ellithorpe with 707, and Joe Sabanos with 639. Just for a little bit of background, the newcomers who are running tonight are Deb, Matt, and Joe. Connie Wyatowicz and Amanda are both incumbent members of the school board, and then the 3 others are running for the first time. So stand by again, and as soon as I have numbers from the other 3 polling places, I will report them here and update you on who is the highest vote getter. And it looks like we have more numbers coming in. And Okay, I am back with more results. We just got the numbers in from Greenfield Elementary. At Greenfield Elementary, Deb Amory came in with 244 votes. Matt Kopans had 215 votes. Joe Sabanos had 185 votes. Connie Wyatowicz had 226 votes. And Amanda Ellithorpe had 214 votes at Greenfield Elementary. So that puts our leaderboard as follows. Deb Amory is the highest vote getter so far. We are still waiting on 2 polling places to report their numbers, but I think I can say with certainty that Deb Amory has secured a seat on the school board. She is running as a newcomer, and so that is a big deal that she has, in almost all certainty, won a position on the school board with a total vote count so far of 1,443 votes. She is followed by Matt Kopans with 1,264 votes, another newcomer running for the first time for the school board, followed by Connie Wyatowicz, who is the incumbent, who has 1,103 votes, followed by Amanda Ellithorpe with 921, and Joe Sabanos with 824. So again, we are still waiting on 2 schools, 2 polling places, Caroline Street and Division Street, to report. But with Greenfield reporting in and the guys are at Dorothy Nolan and Lake Avenue, I think I can say again with certainty that Deb Amory has secured a seat on the school board. She's currently in the lead with 1,443 votes. So there's almost a 600 vote difference between the lowest vote getter so far and the highest vote getter. Coming in behind her is Matt Kopans with 1,264 votes, followed by Connie Wyatowicz with 1,103 votes, followed by Amanda Ellithorpe with 921 votes, followed by Joe Sabanos with 824 votes. So there would need to be pretty significant differences in the votes at Caroline Street and Division Street for Joe and Amanda to overtake the top 3 vote getters at this point. So I will rather keep you posted as that comes in. But again, right now we're looking at the 2 newcomers, Deb Amory and Matt Kopans, are the 2 highest vote getters. Tangentially, they were also both running with the Democratic Party and funded by the Democratic Party, which is just kind of an interesting note because typically in years past we haven't had political parties endorse or support financially school board candidates. Typically, there's a line between politics and education that people don't like to cross. But over the last couple of years, that line has blurred. And in Saratoga Springs, this is not the first year that candidates have run with the support of the Democratic Party, including money from the Democratic Party for mailers and lawn signs and so forth. And that seems to be an effective strategy, as we're seeing tonight. The 2 highest vote getters with 4 out of 6 polling places reporting are Deb Amory and Matt Kopans. And again, we are waiting on Division Street and Caroline Street. So I'm going to stand by for a moment, folks, and I will be back as soon as I have more numbers. Okay, I am back, folks, and I am going to predict at this moment that Deb Amory, Matt Kopans, and Connie Wyatowicz are going to be the likely winners of the school board election tonight. I'm looking at the numbers of 1, 2, 3, 4 of the polling places reporting. We're still waiting on Caroline Street and Division Street, but the difference in the total votes as of right now leads me to believe that Deb, Matt, and Connie are going to be the 3 candidates who are elected to our school board. So once again, with 4 out of the 6 polling places reporting, Deb Amory is in the lead with 1,443 votes. followed by Matt Kopans with 1,264 votes, followed by Connie Wyatowicz with 1,103 votes, followed by Amanda Ellithorpe with 921, and Joe Sabanos with 824. So there's almost a 600-point spread between the lowest vote getter at the moment, which is Joe, versus the highest vote getter, which is Deb. And that is not a margin that will be overtaken with Caroline Street and Division Street reporting. So I feel fairly confident in predicting these three will be the winners of the school board race. There were 5 people running for 3 seats. What's a little bit unusual here is that typically the winners correspond with whoever the teachers union has endorsed. In this case, the teachers union endorsed Connie Wyatowicz, Amanda Ellithorpe, and I think Deb Amory. And so it's a little bit unusual for the results of the school board elections to deviate from who the teachers union has endorsed. Tonight, we can see that that may happen as we're looking at Deb, Matt, and Connie as likely winners. Again, I'm going to say stand by, though, because I want to get you all exact numbers, and I will do that as quickly as I can. We are just waiting on Caroline Street and Division Street to report in with their numbers, and then we will have the complete picture. So stand by. Hi, everybody. If you are just joining us live, I am covering the school board election results tonight. And as of right now, we have 4 out of the 6 polling places reporting in with numbers. Based on the numbers that we have so far, I am predicting that Deb, Matt, and Connie are our likely winners for the 3 school board seats that were up for election. That would be 1 incumbent, Connie Wyatowicz, and 2 newcomers, Deb and Matt. We are still waiting on Caroline Street and Division Street School, however, to report in. But my guess is that will not change the leaderboard at this point, because our highest vote getter, Deb Amory, has 1,443 votes, followed by Matt Kopans, who's about 200 votes behind her at 1,264 votes, followed by Connie Wyatowicz with 1,103 votes, followed by Amanda Ellithorpe with 921, and then Joe with 824. So it's a pretty significant margin between the lowest vote getter, Joe, at the moment, who has 824 votes, versus the highest vote getter, Deb Amory, who has 1,443 votes. And that is not a margin that is going to be overcome by Caroline Street or Division Street reporting in. As of right now, I'm looking at the totals from the 4 schools that we have gotten results from. And they're all within, except for Lake Avenue, they're all within a pretty narrow margin. So I don't expect an extreme swing one way or the other at Caroline Street or Division Street. That would affect the leaderboard as we have it so far, which is why I am predicting that Deb, Matt, and Connie will likely be the winners of the school board election tonight. The biggest difference in total votes at any polling place thus far has been at Lake Avenue, where Deb Amory brought in 415 votes versus Joe Sabanos, who had 133, followed by Amanda Ellithorpe with 164, Connie Wyatowicz with 183, and then Matt Kopans with 373. So that's kind of the biggest difference between the candidates in terms of individual polling places. We are still waiting on Caroline Street and Division Street schools to come in. As I noted before, one of the differences here that seems to be correlating to the results tonight would be Deb and Matt, who both ran with the support and endorsement of the Democratic Party, who locally funded them and helped support their campaigns. The other three candidates, Joe, Connie, and Amanda, were not endorsed or funded by any political party that I'm aware of. So that seems to be playing out in the results that we're seeing. Obviously, having the support of a local political party, especially the Democratic Committee here, having that ground support, having that financial support, clearly is making a difference in terms of who is winning. Typically, the teachers union endorsement is also a very strong indicator of who the likely winners will be. That does not seem to be the case entirely this year, as I believe Connie, Amanda, and Deb were the three people who received that endorsement. So it looks like that may deviate a little bit, when in years past, very often it was the three people who were endorsed by the teachers union that ultimately were victorious and won spots on our school board. The turnout seems to be low compared to previous years. The highest turnout we had was during COVID, when people were able to vote by mail, which almost tripled the kind of average turnout we see for school board elections. This is just a kind of a personal observation, but this has also been a bit of a slow kind of news cycle for the school board elections. Didn't seem to be talked about a whole lot. I wasn't hearing about it. It wasn't as kind of in front of people's mind as it has been in years past. I would probably just attribute that to how much is going on nationally, in the world. People are very distracted by the international news, national news, and so on and so forth. So, people only have a bandwidth for, as much as they can handle. And I just didn't see the school board race locally getting as much attention as it typically has in years past. Anyway, just to kind of review who the candidates are and who has how many votes. As you can see below, I am predicting that Deb, Matt, and Connie are the likely winners tonight. Deb has a total vote count of 1,443 votes, with 4 out of 6 polling places reported, followed by Matt Kopans with 1,264 votes, and Connie Wojtowicz with 1,103. The two other candidates, Amanda Ellithorpe and Joe Savinos, are at 921 votes and 824 votes, respectively. So we are still waiting for Caroline Street and Division Street. Not sure why we have such a delay in getting those numbers. We got the other polling places fairly quickly, so I'm going to take a quick second and check in to see if we have anything new to report. But again, it's unlikely to change the leaderboard given the margins thus far. Stand by for Okay, folks, here's what I'm being told. I'm being told that we have Caroline Street numbers coming in, but also there was some kind of mix-up with the Dorothy Nolan numbers that were reported. So I'm going to go ahead and blame that on, no, I'm not going to blame that on anyone. We are getting these numbers and information off of a bunch of volunteers and people at the polling places, so this is not an exact science. So I'm waiting to hear what this correction might be. Dorothy Nolan, as we had Deb Amory as the highest vote getter with 466 votes. The lowest vote getter there was Amanda Ellithorpe with 235. If those numbers change, that could affect my little prediction here of who is going to win tonight. So perhaps I should change that banner. Let's put school board election results coming in live back up. Again, we are waiting on Caroline Street, which I hear are in, but I'm also hearing that the Dorothy Nolan numbers that we had have somehow been mixed up, and so I'm waiting for them to be clarified. We will see how it adjusts the leaderboard and the total vote getters. So I think they're coming over to me now, so I'm going to pause here for a second, and I'll be right back with you guys. Okay, I'm back. Here's what happened. So the results I was giving you from Dorothy Nolan were actually the numbers from Caroline Street. So the numbers stayed the same, but now I have the actual Dorothy Nolan numbers. So the Dorothy Nolan numbers were as follows. Deb Amory had 466 votes, followed by Matt Kopans with 384 votes. Joe Sabanos got 390 votes. Connie Wyatowicz got 503 votes, and Amanda Ellithorpe got 508 votes at Dorothy Nolan. So with 5 out of the 6 polling places reported, here is the current leaderboard. We have Deb Amory as the highest vote getter with 1,909 votes. That's 1,909 votes. Followed by Matt Kopans with 1,648 votes. Followed by Connie Wyatowicz, who is right on his heels with 1,606 votes. Followed by Amanda Ellithorpe with 1,429. And Joe Sabanos with 1,214. So I'm going to say that my prediction previously was actually fairly accurate. I'm going to stick with that because we are just waiting on Division Street to come in. And currently the margin between the third and fourth place votes getters is about, shit, excuse my language. Sorry, guys. Is about, let's see, in third place we have Connie Wyatowicz with 1,606 votes, followed by Amanda Ellithorpe with 1,429 votes. So there would have to be a pretty significant swing at Division Street to, oh, that's Adam, by the way, that you're saying. Adam, say hi. So there'd have to be a pretty significant margin of the votes coming in from Division Street to affect the top 3 vote getters as of right now. Which again, we have 5 out of 6 polling places reporting. We're just waiting on Division Street School. But without Division Street School, we have Deb Amory in the lead with 1,909 votes. So she's leading by almost 300 votes between her and our second highest vote getter, which is Matt Kopans with 1,648 votes, followed by Connie Wyatowicz with 1,606, followed by Amanda Ellithorpe with 1,429, followed by Joe Sabanos with 1,214. So I could see Division Street coming in. Perhaps Connie picks up some, and the second and third place folks kind of switch. But it would still be Deb, Matt, and Connie as the highest 3 vote getters. Unless Amanda picks up a significant amount more votes at Division Street than the other candidates, I think we are unlikely to see a change in the top 3 vote getters tonight. So to address my kind of previous confusion, we were reporting the Caroline Street numbers as the Dorothy Nolan numbers. I was then told that that was incorrect. We got the actual Caroline Street numbers and were able to report Dorothy Nolan numbers, Caroline Street, Geyser Road, Greenfield, and Lake Avenue. So we've got 5 out of 6 polling places reporting. And again, that is my prediction for right now, that Deb, Matt, and Connie will likely be the winners of the school board election tonight. Matt and Deb are both newcomers. Connie is an incumbent. So interesting results. And again, as I've already mentioned, Deb and Matt ran with the support of the local Democratic Committee, with both ground support and financial support. And this is not the first time that has happened. And it seems to be working in terms of results. It seems to be working in terms of securing a victory locally in the school board race, which I know is a bit controversial for some people. I personally find it to be a bit controversial. I prefer to see politics stay out of school board elections. I don't think they should be mixed in. But be that as it may, here we are. And it does appear that having the support of the local Democratic Committee, both with financing and volunteers, does really help in school board elections, especially in a cycle like this year when there's so much grabbing for people's attention in terms of news and politics. So the ground game and having strong financial support to put out mailers and so forth is obviously a huge benefit. So just waiting on Division Street School to come in. Unlikely to change the top 3 folks here. Connie and Matt are very close. They're within about 40 votes of each other, but either way, there's 3 open seats, and so whether they're second, third, or second, it still appears to be that Deb, Matt, and Connie will be our winners tonight. If that changes, I will keep you posted. We are just waiting on Division Street, and then we can officially call it. Sorry, I'm reading some comments. In years past, one of the biggest issues for voters here in terms of kind of headlines and what people were getting worked up over was school safety and the presence of SROs in schools that would be school resource officers who are uniformed police officers from either the Saratoga Sheriff's Department or the Saratoga Springs Police Department. Their presence in schools in general has been a point of contention for the last several years. And most recently, the SRO program was expanded and now includes elementary schools as well. I'm not aware of any feedback that we've gotten from the community or any surveys that have been done to measure people's happiness or overall feelings about the SRO program having been expanded. But I know that Deb Amory and Matt Copans are really not in support of SROs being in schools. So if they do, as I predict, secure a victory on the school board tonight, we may see a change in the SRO presence in our schools, which I know will make some people very happy and some people very unhappy. But again, we are still waiting on Division Street School to report back in with numbers, and then we can officially call it. But the margin as it stands right now between the highest vote getter and the lowest vote getter is almost 700 votes. That's not a margin that will be overcome even remotely with just one school left to report. And the margin between our third highest vote getter and our fourth highest vote getter is about 100 and about 200 votes. So again, unlikely to change with Division Street reporting in. Still, I'm predicting that Deb, Matt, and Connie will secure the 3 seats that were open tonight for our school. So I'm going to stand by. If you guys can stand by for a second, I'm just going to check to see if we have anything from Division Street so we can officially call this and officially tell you who has won these 3 seats. Stand by, folks. Hey everybody, I am back. We are still waiting on the numbers from Division Street, but if I look at the years past and how the votes have come in from that particular polling place, it is likely to favor the 3 folks who are currently in the lead, which, as it says on your screen, would be Deb, Matt, and Connie. Connie is the only incumbent that has secured another term on the school board. Deb and Matt are newcomers to the board and did quite well. So again, I'm just going to keep reading off this leaderboard here. Deb Amory is our highest vote getter with 1,909 votes. Matt Copans is our second highest vote getter with 1,648 votes, followed by Connie Wyatowicz with 1,606 votes, followed by Amanda with 1,429, and then finally Joe with 1,214. So there are almost 700 votes between the 5th place candidate and the 1st place candidate, which is pretty significant and will certainly not be overcome with just the Division Street numbers that we're waiting on. The 3 highest vote getters, the numbers here, they're just so much in the lead. I don't believe that anything is going to change with Division Street coming in. Typically, Division Street votes slightly more left-leaning, if we're going to put this in political terms. So that would again favor Deb and Matt. And so I do not anticipate this leaderboard changing. So again, predicted winners: Deb, Matt, and Connie. Connie securing another term, Deb and Matt securing their first term. I am going to go again and check in to see if we've got some comments here. Yes, we have some comments, and they are kind of what I suspected. Brandon Jordan weighed in and said those two don't care about children's safety. Unreal. I believe he is referring to Deb and Matt, and he is making that comment based off of their position on having school resource officers in schools. We currently have SROs, or school resource officers, in our elementary, middle school, and high schools. They are uniformed police officers from either the Saratoga Springs Police Department or the Saratoga County Sheriff's Department. Their presence in schools is not meant to be punitive. It is meant to bolster overall safety, but also identify issues that might be bubbling up with kids before they bubble over. They are used in a multitude of ways, but again, not to be punitive. But nonetheless, their presence in schools has been a point of controversy in Saratoga Springs for the last several years, and has really sharply divided people's opinion of who they want to vote for in the school board elections. And so Deb, Amory, and Matt both vocalized their general opposition to having school resource officers in schools at the League of Women Voters Forum, which happened a couple weeks ago. And so that is going to be something that, as I said earlier, people are going to have strong feelings about, either very positive or not so much. But as of right now, they are our two highest vote getters and will very likely be serving on the school board for a 3-year term. The two incumbents were Connie Wyatowicz and Amanda Ellithorpe. Amanda currently is in 4th place with 1,429 votes. We're waiting for Division Street school numbers to come in, but the margins being what they are right now, I doubt that it will change the top 3 vote getters. So a tentative, but fairly confident congratulations to Deb, Matt, and Connie. I think everybody for running for any office, whether it's the school board or the city council locally, is tough. It's really hard. It's harder than people expect. You take a lot of criticism. You know, it's a challenging experience. And so I think everybody who considered running and put their name in the ring this cycle, we really appreciated the community. Having choices is always a good thing. And so I appreciate all 5 of the candidates for running. Again, as of right now, Deb, Matt, and Connie appear to be the likely winners in the school board elections. Looks like lower turnout than we've seen in the past. Again, I would attribute that to the state of our nation and our world, which is grabbing most people's attention these days. And so things like local school board elections aren't at the top of people's mind, which may explain kind of the lower turnout today. The highest turnout we ever had was during COVID, when you could mail in ballots, which almost tripled the kind of average turnout we have in these school board elections. Anyway, I'm going to go and check in again to see if we have those Division Street numbers so we can officially call this. But as of now, Deb, Matt, and Connie look like our winners for tonight. So stand by, folks. I will be back momentarily. Folks, I am still waiting on Division Street School to come in so we can kind of confirm this. But just as a kind of comparison, I had mentioned the low turnout this year. Last year, the highest vote getter had 3,679 votes, and that was Beth Fogarty Braxton. 3,679 votes. Tonight, our highest vote getter has 1,909 votes, and that is with 5 out of 6 schools reporting. So there really was a significantly lower turnout this year than we've seen in years past. Significantly lower. So just something to note. But again, as we wait for the Division 2 school numbers to come in, which, by the way, if anybody's got them out there, send them over to me. I am waiting for the folks around me to hopefully get them soon. But even without Division 3, looking at the margins as they are right now, it is unlikely to change the top 3 vote getters, who are Deb, Matt, and Connie. So, it's tentative, as I said before, tentative congratulations to those 3 candidates on securing a term on the school board. We will continue to wait for the Division 3 school numbers to come in so we can officially call this. But as of right now, the margin between our highest vote getter and our lowest vote getter is almost 700 votes, which is not a margin that is going to be overcome by one school district or one school polling place reporting. So I think that we're unlikely to see any change in this leaderboard. The only thing that I could see flip-flopping would be our second and third place winners, but that again wouldn't change the outcome, as there are 3 seats that are up for grabs tonight. So stand by for a moment. I'll check in to see if we have Division 3 school numbers, but in all likelihood, congratulations, Deb, Matt, and Connie. Okay, folks, I am back, and again, I'm looking at the numbers and knowing the history of how each one of these polling places votes and what the results are and who they typically favor. I am going to say with certainty, I'm going to take out likely from this little banner here, that Deb, Matt, and Connie are our winners tonight. So congratulations to those 3 winners, Deb, Matt, and Connie, on their victories. Excuse me for 1 second, guys. Just going to change this here for a sec. Okay. Connie, my apologies if I'm spelling your last name wrong, which I suspect I am. But Deb, Matt, and Connie have won the 3 spots that were up for grabs in tonight's school board election. The margin between the highest vote getter and the lowest vote getter at this moment is almost 700 votes, and that will not be overcome with just Division 3 school not reporting. So again, Deb was the highest vote getter with 1,909 votes. Following her was Matt Colpants with 1,648 votes. Again, not a margin that I think will be overcome by the results coming in from Division 3. Most likely, the Division 3 results will just confirm their first and second place position, followed by Connie Wyatowicz, who has got 1,606 votes, followed by Amanda Elathorpe with 1,429, and Joe Sabinos with 1,214. So even though we only have 5 out of 6 polling places reporting, based on the trends that we've seen in Division Street over the last couple of years, the Division Street numbers will likely just confirm the current leaderboard as it is. If anything, there might be a switch between the second and third place vote getters, which would be Matt and Connie, because currently they're within about 40 votes of one another. But as there are 3 seats available, it still won't change the actual outcome of the race. So congratulations to Deb, Matt, and Connie. I am going to stand by and wait a few more minutes for Division 3 and see if I can get everybody the total numbers. But likely won't change the outcome. So again, congratulations, Deb, Matt, and Connie. And I will be back in a moment with hopefully the Division Street numbers, but if not, we will probably be calling it for the night. Okay, one second. Okay, guys, I still do not have the Division Street School polling numbers in, but I do have the other 5 schools, which would be Dorothy Nolan, Caroline Street, Geyser Road, Greenfield, and Lake Avenue Elementary. And with those 5 polling places reporting, the leaderboard stands with Deb, Matt, and Connie as our 3 winners tonight. I do not expect Division 3 to affect this at all. And so I am going to, again, officially call it for Deb, Matt, and Connie. So congratulations to all 3 of you on running great races and securing a term on the school board. We also want to thank Amanda Ellithorpe, who was the other incumbent running, for all the time and effort she has put into the school board over the last several years. We very much appreciate her service. We also want to thank Joe Sabinos for running. We appreciate everyone who steps up and runs for these positions. These are thankless jobs, folks. They are truly very time consuming. They take a lot of energy and they really take, a necessary passion from the people running for education and for our students and our public school systems. And it's not an easy thing to put yourself out there in any election, school board or otherwise. So I think it's fantastic that we have choices, and I congratulate all the candidates for running, and especially Deb, Matt, and Connie for winning the 3 school board seats that were up for grabs tonight. So I am going to be signing off, as there is really no more news to report. If Division Street School comes in with their numbers in the next, 10, 15 minutes, I will hop back on and update the total vote count. But again, as I said many, many times tonight, the margin between the third and fourth vote getter is too significant, in my opinion, to be overcome with the Division Street School results. We know typically how Division Street School votes in school board elections, so I can kind of make an informed guess that it is going to just reinforce the current 3 highest vote getters. So I'll update the numbers if I get them in the next 10, 15 minutes. But either way, congratulations, Deb, Matt, and Connie. Thanks to the many, many, many folks who are watching live right now. And yes, I'll be back one way or another to wrap it up or to finalize everything with those Division Street numbers. So thank you, and congratulations, Deb, Matt, and Connie. Okay, folks, so I'm going to wrap up here. Deb, Matt, and Connie are our winners tonight in the school board election. It's an interesting outcome as those were not the three candidates who were endorsed by the teachers union, which typically is kind of the indicator of who's going to win. In the last many years, save for, I think, Amanda, actually, Ellithorpe being initially elected, she did not get the teachers union endorsement when she was first running. She did get it this year, but it's unusual to see the results of the school board election deviate from the teachers union endorsement. Tonight they did. The other thing that we have seen change over the last just 2 or 3 years has been the involvement of local political committees. This year, as they did last year, the local Democratic Committee chose to support candidates with both money and volunteer support. This year, they supported Deb Amory and Matt Copan. They were the endorsed candidates by the local Democratic Committee. They got funding from that committee and they got volunteer support from that committee. And as it did last year, it put them over the edge. It really clearly plays a significant hand in who wins these elections. Um, Money and ground support, you really can't put enough value on that. It clearly helps get people over the edge to win these elections. I think personally, this is just my commentary. Personally, I think that's troubling because I don't think we want our local political committees weighing in on who should be on the school board. Um, Historically, that has been a line that has not been crossed. This is kind of a new day for us in politics, getting involved in our school board races. I personally think it is a bad thing, but at the end of the day, it's clearly effective, as we saw tonight and as we saw last year. So I don't know what that means going forward. I hope it doesn't mean that every candidate running will seek the endorsement of the Republican or Democratic committee, but maybe they will, because clearly, again, the proof is in the pudding. It pays off, as we see Matt and Deb as the two highest vote getters tonight. Again, the numbers I am going off of, guys, are based on 5 out of the 6 polling places. I still don't have the Division Street numbers in, but knowing the trends of how Division Street typically votes and looking at the leaderboard as it stands right now, it is basically totally unlikely that the Division Street results will change the top 3 vote getters, which is why I called this for Deb, Matt, and Connie. Connie being the incumbent, Matt and Deb winning their first school board term. So congratulations to all 3. And my only other observation tonight is that we had significantly lower voter turnout than we have in years past. Previously, in 2003, the highest vote getter was Beth Fogarty Braxton, and she had almost 3,700 votes. Tonight, our highest vote is Deb Amory with 1,900 votes. So you can see that voter turnout was almost less than half than what we saw last year, which could have played a hand in the results we're seeing tonight. But again, I think the most significant influence here has been the involvement of the local Democratic Committee in terms of getting people elected to our school board, for better or for worse. Again, just my personal commentary. I think politics should not be involved in school board elections, but this is unlikely to change as we're seeing it can be very effective. So congratulations, Deb, Matt, and Connie. That is it for me, folks. I will update this in comments with when I have Division Street numbers. I don't know why I didn't get them tonight. I apologize for that. But I thank the many Saratogians who are watching live tonight for watching. I hope this was informative, and congratulations to our 3 winners. Thanks, guys.